are listening, right? What is it?
A legal battle has emerged over the former Regency Square Mall in Jacksonville involving Impact Church of Jacksonville, Inc. and Blackwater Regency, LLC, according to reporting by our news partners at Jacksonville Daily Record.
Girl, them phones be listening for real. Like, for real, for real.
Girl,
All right. Oh, shit.
now they're gonna go tell Ken and
Girl, I know, right? Because you pulled up his phone. That would be so. What if you share that to his story? I'd be like, now this is ridiculous.
girl. Nowadays with this AI and everything.
I've been on this lemon water for some days. Oh, you must be feeling it. And I have lime too. Like sometimes I'll drink lime water, but I don't like when my lime water sits. Like if I put lime in it, I gotta drink it immediately. Yeah, but the lemon, like I've had that because those stay cold. So I'll close it overnight, and in the morning it's the first thing I drink, and it's still cold. I love it. I love it.
I used to drink cucumber.
Oh, I love cucumbers too. You just reminded me I should put some in there.
I used to drink. Yes, girl.
So,
wait, did you listen?
Yeah, babe.
Did it? Mm-hmm. It was good? Mm-hmm. Girl, I didn't even hear you listen.
And I was sitting this far, this far away, and it was very clear, very crisp. And we're both in frame. Do you want to lower your seat? Are you comfortable? I think it's like this time. Don't quote me. I think my showers are the longest during the first 2 days. I just sit there and enjoy that shower. I'm getting a new shower head though. Like I got J.A. was sending out those water conservation kits, and they sent shower heads and water hose heads and all of that in it. And that's the heads I changed the original ones in here too. And they adjust. Like there's a massage, a shower, a mist. How you can twist that thing. You didn't?
No.
This was like maybe 2 summers ago.
Oh no, I don't know.
No. I just got around to using them. But I want a detachable thing, so when I'm washing my hair, that's the only thing I don't like because it takes me so long, and I hate bending over the darn sink to wash my hair.
I want a detachable one too.
That's gonna be the next thing, but I don't think they need one. They barely take a shower. I have to tell them, did you take a shower? It's been days, and they're teens. I thought that would ease up.
I think it depends on the child.
If you went outside, they have literally been out with Jaden doing God knows what. And you know how they be out there flipping and carrying on. Come in and say, oh, I forgot. Oh, you don't feel uncomfortable when you get in your bed?
All sweaty and dirty? I don't know, because my oldest, I don't have to tell him. Mm-hmm. And he takes a long shower. So my youngest, not my youngest, but my Jaden, I do.
Even Tati, and she's a girl. Unless it's her, you know how people say everything showers, and that's when you're doing all your self-care and everything? Mm-hmm. If it's one of those days for her, you don't have to say anything. But other than that, I'm like, Tati, you're a whole young lady. Come on.
Yeah.
And I just want her to get in the habit, not because, she's smelly or dirty or anything, but I just want her to get into the habit. Yeah, exactly. You don't have the privilege of when you're a girl. You just don't. So anyway. Welcome back to Girl Podcast. We're going to get it right.
That was good, though.
That was good. I'm Mona.
I'm Michy.
And today we are talking about
being laid off from work.
Being laid off from work. It's the worst.
It is.
I don't know if unemployment should be included in that. It is a form of unemployment. I think it's
part of the conversation.
For sure. But I don't know how detailed should we get. I'm not gonna say the name, but I do want to compare experiences.
That's the part where I might have like issues. Code names, please.
Okay. Okay, so
somebody was I thought he was like a little baby.
They're probably fighting. So do you want to go first or should I?
You start off, please. I will continue.
I'm a little far removed now.
I will flow with you. Too fresh for me.
Michelle and I have been best friends since elementary school, for anybody who hadn't caught on yet.
Or who's wondering.
And you know how friendships are like, you live life, you come back together, you catch up. You live life, you come back together, you catch up. We ran into each other at the nail salon a couple of times. Yes. Didn't even know that was our spots, but we both happened to be pregnant, and it was just on and popping from there. Saying all of that to say, I had left my job that I was working, and I was looking for another place to work. And she kept saying, you know, I work at such and such. You should just apply. You should just apply. And I'm just like, right? Yeah, I didn't want to say too much. She's like, you should just apply. You should just apply. And I was like, I kind of don't want. Like, I was telling her all the reasons I didn't want to do it because I had gotten used to being an independent contractor where I set my own hours and I could work part-time if I want. And at that time, I had a partner who was picking up, you know, so I didn't have to do too much. But at that season, it was like all on me. I was like single parenting and I needed more income. Finally applied, got hired, and dun, dun, dun.
How long in?
About a year. I think I had just hit a year with the company when on my son's birthday, summer of 2025? Was it 2021? Summer of 2025, literally last year. On my son's birthday, it was like almost time for me to get off, and I had like a pop-up meeting, random, wasn't on my calendar schedule or nothing, and it was like business updates or something.
Yes. Okay. Oh my god. Dang, girl. Important business update. A lady's name I had never heard before, a face I had never seen before. So I'm clicking into the meeting. She's like, hi, you know, blah, 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 going through her spiel. I tell you not, I kid you not, this lady was reading from a script and you could tell. Word from word. And she kept looking off to the side like, and we, da, 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 and going through the whole spiel. Long story short, she was telling me that was my very last day being employed with the company. That day. Log out today. Don't even send us the screens back. Take that as a parting gift. And we're going to we're going to provide you with severance of a week and a half's worth of pay. I'm pretty sure it was a week and a half. Was it a week and a half? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it was a week and a half. The reason I say it was a week and a half is because I was like midweek when I got the news, and I was already thinking in my head, okay, I get the pay from the last pay period, and then this pay period, this check is going to be short. Like, my mind is already going, right? Because what can I do? Anyway, go through that whole spiel on my son's birthday, logged out. I told Michelle, I texted her like right away. And I was telling her what was going on. My manager, during the meeting, my supervisor had called. Same supervisor.
And he was acting all like he didn't know what was going on. Oh no, like he was acting so dramatic and devastated. And I was like, what do you mean you didn't know what was going on? Don't they tell y'all before they tell? Like, this is what I'm saying to him. Like, thinking that he's just, you know, trying to pacify me or something. He's like, no, I didn't know. I'm going to the manager right now. I'm going to ask him. So, long story even longer, he came back, he circled back and then told me that I wasn't the only one. Like, a huge group of us had gotten let go, from supervisors, managers, on down to, you know, different departments within the organization the same day. Adios. We don't need y'all no more. Kick rocks. saying all of that to say, at that time, it felt like the rug was pulled from up under me because this was the same day termination. It was my only job because now, it's a full-time job with benefits. Don't forget the benefits. Very important to have 3 children. Yes. You have what?
All this stuff in the game.
What is going to happen?
They're like that.
This is insane. Let me stop because this is an emergency.
They're the same gaming at my house. Oh my god, I lost all my loot.
Girl, I know you're in the middle of something, Mom, but I don't care. Do what I need you to do. Is it gone? Is it gone? Now you need a few minutes. You see how the story changes? Mm-hmm. And I always tell him normally when he asks me, I'll be like, you better win. You better win. Yours is on, Isaiah. Many graces. That's what I love about this podcast. So wherever I was in the story,
it was swept from under your feet.
It was swept from under my feet. So he went to the manager. I heard him on the phone talking to the manager in the background and everything. And then he got off the phone so I could finish up with the lady, who was doing the termination. Who was doing the terminations and everything. So I had to figure everything out. Now, mind you, what I left out is once Michelle told me about this job and I got hired, I used the offer letter from the job to move here because we live in the same place also. We live currently in the same place. We worked at the same place, So I was asking her, did you get this meeting? Da-da-da. No, she didn't. Now, mind you, I think at the time you were there for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then I came, I had just hit my 1 year mark. So I understood, why she would be chosen to stay there. She has tenure. I was new. So it's like last one in, first one out type. But the lady literally said in the meeting, like, it's not due to your performance. According to your stats, you were noted as one of the top performers on the team, which does nothing. It does nothing to soothe your feelings in that moment.
For nobody.
Because if that was the case, we wouldn't be having this meeting or this conversation right now. Like, what do you mean? So anyway, got through that. Blah, 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 blah. I figured it out. I'm still living here, thankfully. So it didn't stop, anything for me. But I'm gonna let Michelle tell her part, and I want to come back to how I was speaking basically my experience into existence, which is what I think. But anyway, so fast forward to 2026.
2026. Same company, such and such. And mine is fairly fresh. So it happened in a similar way. But I think the thing was that when it happened the first time around, I think it was kind of a shock to a lot of people in the company. But then the second time around, which is this second time around, which is when we received a meeting as well. It was almost the end of my shift. It was like 30, 45 minutes to the end of my shift. And then I see this meeting appear out of nowhere. And I'm like, in my gut feeling, like, this must not be good. The meeting doesn't say what it's for. So I reached out to first I reached out to a coworker who got hired the same day as me, was in the same training class. And I asked them, hey, did you get the meeting? And they said yes. So I was a little bit relieved, but I didn't let my guard down because I still felt like something was off. I reached out to supervisor, and I said, hey, I got a meeting. Do you know what it's for? And they said they had no clue. That was hard to believe. Yeah. The first time, maybe. But this time around, that was a little bit hard to swallow. Really? I felt like I was being lied to. But anyways, moving on. Once we got into the meeting, it wasn't individual like yours. Right. It was a group of people. It was like 20 people in there. But that's not all the people that got laid off. It was more people. I don't know if they had separate meetings or what, but in our group, it was 20 people about. And I think some people missed the meeting.
Imagine.
And they probably got because we did get an email the next day. But in the meeting, another lady, I don't know who she was either, but she also looked robotic and started reading off the script. And once I saw that she started talking and reading off the script, because you can tell, I was like, oh, well, I know what this is. I remember when she told me, she's like, it was a lady, she was so robotic, and she was just reading off the script, and I was like, oh, well, I know. So I was already mentally prepared. I was not even wanting to listen to what she was saying. I just heard a few words here and there that she was just like, we have bad news. And basically I was like, oh, okay, well then, I already know what this is. It was a little bit hard to process in the moment, but I was expecting it because the first time that it happened, they were, according to the company, they were outsourcing overseas. So that's the reason why a lot of people got let go the first time. My question was immediately, if you guys are outsourcing overseas, are you guys slowly transitioning and you guys are going to have another layoff and lay off more people?
That's what she asked when I got laid off.
Right, when she got laid off the first time, that was my question, because I'm like, okay, so are they trying to slowly transition and slowly let people go until they fully transition? I was told no.
Don't worry. Everything's fine. Do that to you guys.
Not. So the thing is that, just like she said, they weren't basing it on performance, because I passed
everything.
I was
taught, to go for real.
I was taught in the team. I'll tell you, let's not get into it. Anyways. They were not looking at your performance. They were not looking at your attendance. They were not looking at nothing. I don't know if it was a lottery. I don't know how they were choosing all these people, because there's still people that stayed. There's still people that stayed. Not everyone from my team got let go.
I need to ask.
People are still there.
It's such and such still there.
Such and such and such and such.
Where's she I
don't know.
Ask about her. The same one that I said.
I think she's still.
She should have been, okay, there was this one person that was just always ill, always sick. Oh, my monitors are not working.
She ghosted for a while. Yeah. And then I don't know whatever happened. She was like, oh, she ghosted. I don't know what.
I was like, at the time, and not to pick and choose, but when I do my job, I do it well, especially customer satisfaction. Like, that's not even a question. That's my specialty. So when it came to her, she would put all of this stuff in the Teams chat every day, and I would be like, oh my gosh. Every time I was absent, you don't even have to ask if I have an excuse note. It's in your inbox already. Like, what are we talking about? So they really had no reason to let me go, especially if you're choosing to keep her. And I outperformed her specifically. So that's why I was asking about, her illness.
No, she's not there, but not because of layoff.
Anyway, sorry.
Curiosity.
Girl.
So I guess the topic is, in her scenario, they didn't give her time. It was immediate. In our scenario, because of this new law, they gave us, I think, 60 days to figure it out. So mentally, how did that affect you? Or in your life, daily life?
At the time, because I had just moved in here, in where we're living now, it was my only source of income. So I had reached out to my co-parent, because remember it was my son's birthday. We were about to take him, to go celebrate his birthday. And everything stopped. As soon as the meeting ended, I went and I told him, I was like, hey, they just literally fired me. Like, I just got let go of my job. And so that turned into something else. He was able to help out, here, which wasn't my plan or anything like that, but he did help out for a while. But I ended up having to find, other employment because I knew that no matter what, I wanted to stay here. So mentally, you can imagine the stress that put on me because I wasn't in a relationship. Mind y'all, I've been divorced since October of 24. So he had no obligation to do anything. Okay. He had no obligation to do anything. And I wasn't like coming with begging for anything. It's just a need. There was a need and, he stepped in. Anyway, so I didn't want to have like any dependence on him. I had that struggle in my mind. Mm-hmm. I knew my parents were there. They are always, always available and willing to help out in any situation, especially for me and especially in emergencies, because it's not just me, it's me and my kids, right? They love and care for all of us. So I didn't want to immediately go to them, which in hindsight, I wish I would have instead. But everything worked out how it was supposed to work out. But the stress of it all was just like in that moment, because I didn't have the 60 days, it was like, what are you going to do? On my son's birthday. So I didn't tell the kids. I'm like, I got to put on a brave face. Like I was in my room crying because like all the thoughts just come at once.
Right.
Like I had no clue what I was going to do. And so the emotions took over. I was in here crying and then I literally had to wipe my face, change my clothes and go out the door because we already had plans for his birthday. Like the show must go on, like that type. Plus the kids, even if I would have told them, oh, this just happened, they don't understand like canceling or, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. Like, no, they don't. It's my birthday.
They're still living life.
So that was very stressful going through it. The amount of severance they gave us, I wish I would have rebutted it. Like, I wish I would have challenged the severance, but I didn't. You can, when I looked it up, well, in Florida, you are able to do that. However, it is very important to read all the fine print because in some cases, if you rebuttal it, they have the option to either compromise with you or negotiate with you, or they can withdraw it at all because they don't have to do that. It was just a kind gesture because they knew they was BS us, right? So I did not. I just took what they gave and then made lemonade, lemons. But the stress of going through that, and it was rough for a while, but thank God my village stepped in because if it weren't for my parents, my sister, yes. No. He's on restriction right now. Anyway, if it weren't for them, I think I would have been in a much worse place. And then, living here, rent is due and rent is due. They do not care, baby. And when you're late, that's $100 fee. And just like 2 seconds after you get that late fee, they're filing for eviction. You finna get up out of here. Like, I don't know how they work so fast, what type of partnership they have, but it moves quickly. So that was my main concern. I don't want to get evicted. I didn't care about the late fee because it's going to get paid, but I don't want that on my record.
Right.
Like a real eviction. I've never gotten to that point before and I want to keep it like that. Like I'll get to the point where I have gotten to the point where you have to pay the court fees and then pay what you owe and then it's all washed away or forgiven. But not here, but in the past. Yeah. But I was not trying to do that with them. I don't know.
I feel like there's so many ways it can go when you think about how does this affect you. Because if you think about it, there was, I think, over 90 people that got laid off. And I think in your circumstance, I don't know how many it was, but according to the second wave, it looks like it was over 90 people in this state alone.
Yeah.
So do you know how much competition we have right now trying to find a job? So
and not just y'all, but all the other people in the world, because Amazon's leaving.
That's what I'm saying. I've heard it's not just this company; it's many other such and such as company.
Right. Such is crazy.
They're letting go of all these people, and I feel for some of them because some of them are single mothers, some of them,
don't have that village.
Right, they don't have the support. I mean, thankfully, I have the support of my husband. If anything, I can always go to work with him. There's always a way. Mm-hmm. But there's people that don't have that.
Yeah.
And that's what life throws at you.
And then we were also talking about, very briefly, because we're humans too, but the members who are going to be affected. Because remember, they said when I got laid off, they said it wasn't due to the outsourcing, right? Well, you know how it is when you call a company, and not to say anything, like I mean this so respectfully, but you call a company and there's like a language barrier, or it adds onto your frustration of what you're trying to get done. Mind you, without getting too specific, the work that we do are for a lot of the less fortunate population, I would say, and oftentimes they are in emergency situations or they're in pain and they don't have the time to wait. Like, I need help and I need it now. Imagine having the frustration of language barriers or longer hold times or misunderstandings or anything because you want a cheaper route of outsourcing your work. So you lie to the employees, you don't care about the population that you're serving, and then, I don't know, I think all of us kind of lose.
In a way.
Yeah, all of us kind of lose.
Me personally, when I've dealt with companies that I've called for customer service and they're overseas, their accent may be way too strong for me to even understand. And it's like, what? Over and over. And I feel like they have so much restriction on what they can do for some reason that they have to be transferring you over. And it's like, you never get to where you need to.
And it's frustrating on top of an already frustrating situation. So we were thinking of how it affects not only us as employees, the population we serve, and then as a business, everything that we're saying is going to reflect negatively on your business. Some of us, I'm a local Google guide, I pride myself on that, but some of us love writing reviews. We have all the time in the world for it. We love to do nothing more than review. And I know that those reviews are read and voices are heard, and then that does push change forward in a way. So I'm just waiting to see how that reflects on such and such. And maybe you don't care. Maybe y'all are going a different route altogether. Maybe you're about to merge with a different company, so it doesn't bother you at all. But I just think, how much of that was discussed before y'all started making these decisions? And I know you were saying there was like a group of 90. The page that you showed me, there were like 15 pages of that where it showed the departments, the names were redacted, but it would show the department and how many. 15 pages, girl. But it wasn't just Florida, obviously. But so yeah, the first wave was huge. Second wave was, smaller, but still it affects the company as well. And I don't, how many more waves will there be in the future?
Is it until they reduce the whole company itself?
It's crazy.
But I've already gotten calls when the first wave hit of people complaining. Oh, thank God I got someone who speaks English, or I didn't understand the last person that I was speaking to, or, there's been just so many complaints, but what can I do?
What can she do?
Sorry, but I'm here to help you out.
And I was just thinking, like, when we were comparing our experiences, I was only there for a year. Well, a little over a year. It wasn't much. 3 years.
3.
I only speak English. She's bilingual. And so I was like, it's not that. And I say that because I remember when I applied to the company, they were asking, like, are you bilingual? Like, they were strong about being bilingual. But I still got through the interview anyway, though that I wasn't. So at first I thought, okay, maybe they want more people that are bilingual to serve as a larger population. It wasn't that. You already said it wasn't my performance or my stats. All of my absences were excused. It wasn't that. So you know how your mind just starts circling, why me? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, anyway, that's how I processed it.
Yeah.
So I was like, there has to be a reason, because I'm looking at our group chats every single day, and I can point 6 other people who should have been on the chopping block other than me. But here is the light at the end of the tunnel. Everything happens for a reason, right? So, in my experience, that was last July of 2025 that happened to me. After that, I started working for a different company. I did a different contract. And that contract ended unexpectedly, like kind of shorter than they thought that it would. And then I was laid off again. It's funny now, but shit is not fucking funny when you're going through it. So yeah, I've come a long way, but this is what I want to share. I was able to process that a lot better because I had just gone through it like before. I didn't reach out to what would have been my comfort area. I didn't even when I called my parents this time, I was just informing them, hey, this is going on. You know, I don't need anything, but I just wanted y'all to know, because I share the good news with them. But I also can share not so good news with them because they're supportive. So I didn't want them, you know, I'm only going to tell you good things because they're not like that. But anyway, I processed it a lot better.
Yeah, I was in shock in a way because I knew what was going to happen. I just didn't think that it would happen so soon.
Yeah.
I want to say so soon, but it's been a while since they did you. And the fact that they gave us time, I'm still, you know, processing and maybe stressing a little because now I have to go through this whole job hunting, interviewing, and that's
fun.
So fun. I hate it, but maybe it is time for something better. I mean, that's what Franklin said.
And then also, during my time, I was able to apply for unemployment. Like, they provided the letter for it and everything. But because y'all have that time period, I don't even know if it will qualify or not. Like, I really don't know how that works. I don't know how it works. And I'm not speaking that because if you've been on unemployment, you know that you know. And not to complain, because something is something. But when you have a family that you're supporting, you're like, what am I supposed to do? It's not even half of the income that you were making. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? So, hope, not even hoping, we are going to speak into existence that you will already have something set up before that day, because we ain't got time for that. I love having you as a neighbor, so we're going to we can make it happen. But like we were saying, everything does happen for a reason. If I hadn't had that experience before the second layoff, I would have been like devastated. It probably would have took me out. But I had such a peace on that. Like, I was just like, and kind of knew it was coming because work started slowing down. So it wasn't like unexpected. It's just I didn't get like a warning. It was kind of like a call at the end of my shift. Like, but I didn't panic or anything. I just pivoted, picked up something else, and then they ended up actually calling me back to do a different project. So that even worked out in itself. But the point is, stay positive, stay uplifted. I mean, feel your feels. And I'm a feels girl, so I'm never going to tell somebody, suck it up, you know. Yeah. No. Process your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't need to bottle it in. But understand that everything happens for a reason. Everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. And we don't always have the answers. You probably won't know the answers until you get there. That's the beauty of life. But it does all work out in the end.
How do you feel about how they say, I know this didn't happen to you because it was immediate, but how do you feel about, they didn't give us no time to respond or nothing. Mm-hmm. Once she read the script, I was like, okay, bam. Everybody was off the meeting. But you know, they said, we still expect you. to perform at your best, 100%, attendance-wise, quality, everything, even though you know what's coming. How do you feel? Like, what do you think about it? Should I not ask that question?
Me being who I am, I'm not saying that I would have been BSing around, but you wouldn't get the cream of the crop from me. Like,
the overachiever.
You showed me what you think I'm worth, so I'm going to reflect back.
Especially if you aren't an overachiever. You left people who aren't overachievers.
Correct.
So that's what you're looking for.
That's what you want. So let me come down. What do you think? Sure. No, I'll do all the things for you. Don't mind me. And I was telling her, like, I wonder, which we know now that law has gone into effect, which is why they have to basically forewarn now. But how do you then turn around and ask people to perform at peak performance, although we don't need or want you anymore and we're kicking you to the door? But in the meantime, in between time, it's just like, really? I was joking with her, but I was like, every single call, I'd be like, okay, hold. And I was never like that on the phone. Like, I really do service all y'all aunties, uncles, all y'all grandpas, grandmas that y'all forget about. We help those populations, that y'all don't have time to help.
Yeah.
So because I love what I do and I have a passion for just service in general, like, I know I still would have been doing my job. But on those calls where you would typically have to, like, push through with those customers, oh no. My internet's out, like, immediately. Like, oh no. Because it's like, it's all coming to an end anyway, so what am I going above and beyond for at this point? For what? You're not going to change your mind and be like, oh, just kidding, you can stay. Like, I don't.
If you're already an overachiever, what more can you do?
Yeah. Like, no. And you don't deserve that for me anymore. Like, I don't know. But I was just trying to encourage Michelle because mostly I've been through it already, so I know the feels. And for me, anyway, it was like a roller coaster. It would come in waves. Like, I would be like, okay, it's gonna be brighter, it's gonna get better, and then out of nowhere, a wave of emotion would come. Like, it was so.
I felt like that because when I was sitting there listening to and not listening, it was just like coming in and out. I already knew what was gonna happen, and I felt neutral. But then once I was off, it was like it hit me. I was like, oh my god, now I have to start a job on.
You keep saying that
because I hate it. Girl, I hate it. I think that's the only reason why I lasted at something.
That's crazy.
Because I hate doing all that.
Girl, everything is AI now. If your resume is, AI is going to scan your resume for keywords, and then based on that, you'll get an interview, and then in the interview, that's when you sell yourself. And it's all personality now. They're not even looking really, in my experience, for like professional, prim, and proper, because they'll ask like the general questions like, what would you do in a situation? They ask that, but then there's so much chit chat in the middle now where they're just trying to see how you respond or know more about you. And that's been my experience with every interview I've had since then. And that's how I got the project that I'm on now that asked me to come back, because me and that lady, we got through the business part so quickly, and then it was just chit chat. Where are you from? What do you like to do? Stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm going to be doing for you. Like, it had nothing to do with the contract at all. So
I think I was just trying to prepare myself for if I was to look for a different position or a different job, I would have wanted the time because I didn't want to do phones again. That was my thing, but I mean, whatever comes, it should be better.
I did have the non-phones. I was doing that contract, and it is peaceful. You get your music on, you're in your zone. They give you what you need to do, your cases, and then you're just on your own doing your own thing. If they need something, they'll email you or send an IM or whatever, and that is so stress-free. I mean, that is the life. I think, I don't mind because I've had that break now. I got to breathe. Doing the next contract with calls, it's going to be interesting for me again because now I'm back to having that interaction, that human interaction.
Yeah.
Speaking to people because when I'm in here in my zone, like my door is open sometimes, the kids are in and out, but they don't really need anything because they're in school. So you don't get that, hey girl, how's your day? What you having for lunch? Like you don't get all of that. Whereas if you're taking calls from customers, a lot of them want to have that interaction too, especially in the populations that we serve where they feel forgotten or left behind, and then they get somebody and they can feel you through the phone and then they just want to talk. And now you know about their grandchildren and you know about their parents and you know what their hobbies are, like a stranger that you're never going to talk to again, possibly. And it's just, I don't miss that per se, but I'm not opposed to going back to it. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
It's an adventure.
It's a journey, but maybe it was time for a change.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. So last thing, I put a bookmark earlier because I said I wanted to come back and talk about speaking things into existence. And there was a time when I was at the job where me and Michelle would like debrief about the grievances of the day or whatever that we had about the job. Mostly me because I don't know what she does with all her feelings, but I gotta get it out. I don't know. She keeps it, it'll get better. She's so positive that way. And I'm like, I know it's gonna get better, but let me say this. So I used to like debrief about it, and I remember saying so often, like, I'm so thankful that you told me about this job. Like, I'm thankful to be employed and that it provides for my family, but I don't want to do this. Like, I kept saying that. Even if I wasn't saying it to her, like, I know that was an everyday part of my speech. I am such a firm believer in words carry power. And oftentimes I believe we speak our own realities, right? So because I said that so often and I didn't have like I didn't even know what it was that I wanted to do. I just knew that it wasn't that. And then because I kept saying it, it was like, okay, you think you know everything, here you go. And I didn't expect it to happen in that way, so unexpectedly. However, look at me now. Like everything literally just fell right back into place. So everything had to fall apart so that something greater could come together. But I did want to come back and say that because you also
not meaning to, but apparently
you also got to a point, and hers is not like me. I'm not like a complainer, but I'm not like as positive as she is. And I'm saying this because this is my experience of her. But even when she has a rough day, she'll say it and then she'll find like something positive to say about it, like immediately after. I'm gonna sit in it. I'm gonna sit in it and say everything I need to say. And another thing, like that's me. And then I'll get over it. But I don't know.
It was funny she said that because it was not that long ago that we were in the kitchen talking, wasn't it? Literally, like maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. A week or 2 weeks ago, I told her something to the lines of, I wish I could have a vacation. But then I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't say that because I don't really want a vacation.
Vacation. And then here we go. But I'm happy that you have that time because I know how you go hard for your family and everything. So I'm glad that you have the time to figure it out because I'm telling you, I would not have wished that on anybody the way that I just had to scramble like that. It caused a whole bunch of crap that I wish I had not had to go through. But I got through it, but I would not wish that on that type of stress, that type of
on nobody.
Like, it's just a feeling of loss. Like, and it's not because you don't have faith. Like, we know God is going to work everything out. We know everything works out. We know all the positive things, but when you're in it,
in the moment, you're not thinking of it.
You're not.
You're just like, oh my God.
Right.
Now what? What's the next move? What am I going to do? How am I going to pay for this?
Because the bills do not stop.
Mm-hmm.
My God, they do not stop. So yeah, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna work through it, and I'm happy to be support. I already told her I'm here. Like I can give you all the. Remember, y'all, I've been on the grind since well, not now, but I've been on the grind because that happened to me what July. So I had to hit the ground running, but because I was crawling, now she finna run. And you got time too? Like, So it's gonna work out. And I'm happy. I mean, if I had to be the person to go through it to help somebody else, because we didn't see this coming again, for sure. But I was just like, girl.
Then this has nothing that you guys are probably gonna know what I'm talking about. But you remember Elle, who was my supervisor?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how she was so dedicated, like she was getting paid millions of dollars for her positions. So she left over a month ago. And when she left, that came to my mind. I don't know why. I was like, she was so dedicated. God. I wonder if she knew. You know?
Yeah.
Because she was so dedicated and so. Oh my God.
I never saw that coming. Never.
She did. She left. And then.
I mean, she bled such and such.
It wasn't that long ago. So it came to my mind, but now you can kind of put two and two together.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, which I don't wish it on anybody, but our supervisor was fairly new coming in. Like we started with one supervisor. She went on to do bigger and better things. Yeah. And was replaced. And I'm just wondering if that supervisor is going to have the same experience or not. Because if y'all are continually downsizing, like you never know.
I don't know because the supervisor was mentioning that he was training for a different, like he was going to be in charge of 2 different departments.
At such and such?
At such and such. Okay. So I don't know what they're doing. My thought process is maybe they're just trying to downgrade to everyone in office. Or maybe they're just trying to downgrade to everyone in office except for the people that are over there. Or I was thinking because they have so many offices, maybe they're going to eventually just do one location and then everyone else is going to be overseas. If they're trying to lower costs and all that.
I could see that eventually.
That's what my thought was. Yeah. Who cares?
Anybody experiencing this, hang in there.
Yes.
It
do not be discouraged.
Does get better. I can't tell you when. But I do know it does get better.
As long as you put your part and effort, it will get better. But if you're just sitting there.
Yeah, don't wallow in it. Like, do what you gotta do. Do your part and then everything else will fall into place. Anyway, so that's all for today.
That is.
You have anything else?
I think that was all.
That was beautiful. Anyway, so we'll talk to y'all next time.
Yeah.
Bye. Girl. I liked this one. I did.